Chris Watson of Music Eye, and we've got with us today Dean G. Hill, International Artist Manager, founder of the Sound Angels Collective, and he's going to tell us about his book today, which is based on his connections and his experience and all the techniques of actually how to get recognised for your talent and get paid for it. And I think we're all interested in that. So Dean, we need to know a little bit about the contents of the book itself. So what's in there to get people going?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one because it took root before lockdown and kind of got fleshed out during lockdown and designed and made to look pretty. But basically, it's an encapsulation of 20 years of hard-won experience in the music industry. It's a tale of survival, a tale of chaos and glory, and it basically puts it in the format of a route map for an artist as to how to navigate these shark-infested waters. Because let's be honest, they are difficult waters to navigate. And so it's a chart, if you like. So it's the first 3 years of a 5-year journey, and that's based on actually observing artists who failed, artists who stratospherically succeeded, and artists who ploughed a middle course of gaining enough recognition to do what they do for a living. And I've been involved with all of those journeys. So yeah, literally chaos and glory. And so I thought it about time that I encapsulated all of that into a useful guide to help people make progress, basically.
Right. So what techniques have you actually listed in there? I mean, how do you start? Is it about sort of social media as well as connections? How to get yourself onto social media properly?
Yeah, I mean, the journey starts right in the core of you as who you are. Right. So if you are an artist, generally speaking, you're compelled to do this stuff, because although a lot of artists do it for the love of it, and that's great, if you're going to really make a mark in the world and really get a message that you have in you out into the world to the point where it can do something useful, because it isn't just about entertainment. It's actually about we're telling stories with our songs. We talk about the human condition, about who we are, what we think about this thing called life. What are we going to do with this thing that we've got called life? So I think it's important for an artist to have a message, and artists who are compelled by that inner need to get what's in them out are the ones that are going to make progress of some form or another. If it's just, I just quite like doing it and diddly do and spliddly blong, like I do in the garden sometimes. I mean, I play well enough. I play well enough to know that I don't play well enough. I'm a second fret warrior, love playing the guitar, and I'm an Olympic songwriter. I write a good one about once every 4 years. But my burning passion is to help talent prosper. Whereas an artist, it's their passion and their nature, if you will, to get their message out there. So that's basically what the guide is helping them take their message, define who they are, find who's going to get and understand, and in some cases need that message, and help them to reach more of those people so that it makes some kind of impact in the world.
Yeah, I get it. It's about actually putting that talent out there and actually being able to have a map, as you say, to do that, because most people with talent, they're trying to create something. They haven't got time for promotion and all the rest of this stuff. They actually need a little map to guide them along, and even somebody sometimes, even a manager maybe. It's possible. I'm not going to go into management. Maybe I need one. I don't know.
Well, I have done a lot of that in my time as well, and that's been. I mean, but people can pick this up basically and make use of it at whatever stage in their career that they're at. If they're beginning, or even if they've kind of gone along that journey a little bit and plateaued, or because of COVID there's no live gigs and they've lost their enthusiasm, whatever it might be, it can rejuvenate themselves and remind themselves why they're doing it, and then have that little helpful little checklist of these are the things I should be doing. And not to beat yourself up with. I mean, it is going to be hard work if you're going to make progress or make progress again. Nobody's denying that. But if you've got that little bit of support, be it in the form of this guide or Sound Angels music as an adjoint to that, and we help a lot of artists purely just on the level of connections. And we can't promise the huge connections, although we've got them, and those are mentioned in the book. I've tried to reserve the huge clanging name dropping until the end of the book. and I've put a few interesting little stories in there, but I've only included the ones that have a lesson in them.
Okay.
Because what I found is, having sat on sofas in nightclubs, which will remain nameless, next to stratospherically famous people in floods of tears because their life is so crap.
Yeah.
From the outside, it looks utterly amazing.
Yeah.
And the journey looks incredible, and they're living their dream. From the inside, it isn't, very frequently isn't the case. So I put some salutary lessons in there as well. So it's really just informs your journey, rather than you being out there on your own, adrift in this sea of where do I go next, and what do I say on my social media, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay then, so basically it's a nice encapsulated map of where you need to be yourself as well before you start this journey, even decide what you want to do. Because some people don't want to be famous. I've heard that from other people who are quite talented musicians. They don't want to be famous.
Recognised and supported.
But they are the messengers of that. That talent gives them the ability to give us a message for our lives and identify with them, and that's really worthwhile. So hopefully, people will get recognised by reading your book. So, is there many references at the back of it?
Yes. There's lots of acknowledgements. I think you get a little mention in there as well, Chris.
Oh, well,
basically.
I'm more thinking of other sources, really. You know, what's the best type sources?
You mean people? I see. Yeah, I mean, there is a pointer towards my management services, which I do under the auspices of What Comes Next.
Yeah.
So I do a little bit of business consultancy, and I work a lot with artists as well. And actually, I deploy similar skill sets. I talk with the business owner or the artist, and I draw what's in them out and brainstorm with them strategies as to what best encapsulates this message.
Sure.
What are the sound bites, as it were, the little fragments, the breadcrumbs that you can lay that people think, oh, that's interesting, I'd like to find out more. And so it's strategy, and then some tactics as well that you can deploy out there in the field. And then ultimately the actions, the step-by-step things you actually need to do.
Right.
And so I follow a very similar path with my management as I do in the guide. But within the guide, it's just the first 3 years of a 5-year journey that I map out. And there are artists that I've worked with that length of time ago who are now just signing deals with bigger record labels.
Yes.
I've helped sign people to majors and stuff in the past, but actually the independent furrow, where you make a career for yourself and then you pick and choose what labels you're talking to at the right stage, is a much healthier way of doing it than going out there with your begging bowl, with your please sir, can I have an advance, So it's interesting stuff.
There's got to be some work, hasn't there, as well? Okay, well, that sounds great, Dean. I mean, it's to actually have done that and put it into a book, to actually give somebody a pointer forwards is great, because most people, they're not really certain, but this sounds good. So where do we find the book? Where can you buy it?
It's on the Sound Angels website, so it's soundangelsmusic.com. That's angels plural, because there are multiple angels within our network of helping artists and pointing in the right direction. So it's soundangelsmusic.com, and then it's /music-guide. But you can just go to soundangelsmusic.com and you'll see it on the menu over on the right-hand side.
Well,
and a few bits and bobs about what we're up to, artists we've worked with in the past, that kind of thing. So
great. Hopefully people will turn up and have a look at what's there for them then. That'd be great.
I hope so, yes.
Thanks very much for your time, Dean. And I think we'll leave it there.
Step by